kids, whatever. It's just nice to see everybody of all ages, all colors, all shapes, all sizes, all everything in the building together. So yes, all textures, all that. This is Miss Janetta, right? Janetta. Okay, yeah. She came to the last meetup and she wore this green dress. And she walked in the door out there, everybody was just like, everybody just stopped and was like, about this whole relationship just walked in. So we had to hunt her down. We had a picture. It was like, who is this woman on Facebook? Who is this woman? And somebody was like, I found her. I found her. Yes. So we wanted her just to come and just to share. Sometimes people feel like when your hair is natural, you have to like Sealy, you gotta look busted and crazy. People have these preconceived notions about how the natural hair looks crazy, it looks disheveled or whatever, but it doesn't, because these are all perfect examples of people that are educated, people that have nice jobs, people that are doing positive things and rock their hair naturally in 4 different hairstyles. So each of us is going to say a little something, something, and then we're going to ask some questions and answer. We have some giveaways and some raffles and stuff like that too.
My name is Janetta. I've been natural for about 15 years or so. When I first went natural, I had what they call the dookie braids back then. Remember that? Yes. I hated myself. I did. I mean, I thought I was rocking it, but it was somebody else's hair. And then another reason I went natural because of income. I have 4 daughters as well. They're all natural. Yeah. I know her. I did have a hard time when I first got a natural with dating. Guys was looking at me like I think so. This was like 15 years ago, so can you imagine? Like I said, I had a hard time, but I went through it. I didn't change.
You beat him up now, right? You beat him up. Right.
Really, like I said, I don't follow trends. I try to look like myself because I don't mind looking like other people. And then, like I said, I have 4 daughters, so I want them to follow me behind as well. And, you know, maybe they don't want to look like me, but they will eventually.
It's called Geechee Gap. And I wrote it for Black women, for our experience here on Earth as Black women, in this country as Black women, within ourselves as Black women. And so it's meant to inspire and to remind us of all the power that we possess. Do you feel like magic? Girl, like God is laughing up your sleeve. You, the possessor. I caught a glimpse of myself in my mama's full-length mirror. I saw me draped in skin, adorned in wool. Pores where I pour out of me poems and the yesterday choking my today blood. This is why Grandma instructed us to watch where we place our feet and bury our distress. Sisters, do you bury it in you? Is your self alive, or is you struggling to breathe beneath the weight of it all? The weight of 2 stranger hands smuggling unfamiliar air into your blood. This is how we died without our magic, women. Since before we were sealing it into our braids, caked with the soil of the ground, we were rooted, kneading it into bread, molding it into the mouths of our men and others' men, placing it next to the money under our breasts, tucking it behind our babies' pillows. We root fairies, the originators of nation birthing God. Pistol packing, rotten teeth in our knapsacks when we hold on too long to the cold touch of those who tried to eat right through us with our eyes and arms wide open. You remember. Do you feel magic? Have you stretched your bones before a mirror hoping they would shift into something foreign, pale, slender? Imagine man-made sediments to fill that Geechee gap, tinting your smile with the rich sap of before sisters. Falsehood spiraling beneath the nappy crown. And your funky morning breath is the magic of another world, sisters. Sightings that the psyche slept off, forgotten with that morning brew. Have you ever inhaled you, stared and sent prayer into your uterus? There are too many women on my corner talking about some brother's size. 6 seamen, we are not oceans to be sailed, sisters. Nor sold to the show enough is bitter, sweetest whisperer of absolutely nothing. Why you still got your 10 fingers and toes, still draped in your skin and your wool, with pores not impeding upon your breathing with silent air choking your blood. Lick your lips and kiss the God in you, root fairies, originators of nation birth and God. Tuck you into the corner of your voice weapon. You, every, and no other. Naked in the mirror, draped in flaws that shame perfection. Breathe.
My name is Sharnika. I have a YouTube page called 160 Days to Do. I've been natural now for only a month and a half, but I transitioned for a year, and it was very, very hard. And actually, Lori Robertson, I interned with Black, and she actually influenced me to go natural as well as Ashley over here. She was going natural at the time, and I was the only one. I was like, I cannot leave in my perm. My perm is my everything. I need my perm in my life. And that experience really made me change. I was like, you know, maybe I should go to the curly side. But then when I did my big chop on August 7th, I realized I didn't have a curl. And I was like, okay, I have naps, no curl. What should I do now? Should I just go back to the relaxer? Or... So I really decided to just find things that work for me, styles that work for me. And since I transitioned for a year, I was doing different styles. It wasn't that hard, but transitioning hair and natural hair is just totally different style. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But I just stuck with it. I really just tried everything, because none of my friends are natural. I mean, they are, but they brush their hair, so they don't do different styles, and it was really difficult. But the YouTube community, the natural hair community online is amazing, and that's just the way that I went. So it's a daily, I wouldn't say struggle, but it's a daily experience. It's a journey. And I love it. I love every minute of it.
My name's Carla. My natural journey, I grew up, I was a teenager in the 60s and 70s. I graduated high school in 1972 from Cass Tech. Coming up in that time, in the 60s and 70s, we're talking about the Black Panthers. And my idol was Angela Davis. She had the most beautifulest afro. I'll tell you what happened. I was doing this perm because I had been natural in high school, and I had been doing this perm, and I really hated the perm. I hated the whole experience of going to the beauty shop, and they always had 2 and 3 people at a time. And you know how they would do? They would wash your hair and then stick you under the dryer. You couldn't go nowhere. Well, they're gonna work on somebody else. And I think I had about maybe an inch and a half of new growth, and I'm going back and forth. I said, you know, I just do not want to, you know, do this perm. And my husband is so funny because we laugh about this every now and then. He went out to the store, and when he came back, I had took a pair of scissors and I had cut off all my hair. Wow. I was just done. From that, I went for, you know, doing the afro, and I was wearing what they used to call back in the day the high top fade. I was tired of this high top fade, and I wanted to cut it off. And I remember the barber that I was going to at the time. I had to talk him into cutting off all my hair. And he kept saying, well, you know, Tommy, my husband's name is Thomas. Tommy, well, you know, what if Tommy gets mad or whatever? I said, you know, this is my hair. And he was like, well, what if you don't like it? I said, you know what? It's hair. It'll grow back.
Hello.
And 17 years ago, I cut it all off, and I've been wearing it ever since. You know, it's beautiful. It looks wonderful.
I've had a whole bunch of transitions of hairs, and I tell people, because my grandfather is not black, there's a lot of ancestors in this head. There's mostly the African ones are all So that was the first part of my head that locked, and locked so quick. I think it took 2 days.
Yeah.
When I was little, in terms of my natural journey, my mother always wore an afro, and I grew up in the 70s. Like, she had an afro, like, for real, just like with the pick, with the fist on it. We had little afros, but some of our hairs was laid down because they had different things going on in them. One of my mother's friends came over and said, we need to put relaxers in their hair. We were 4. And my grandmother let her do it when my mother wasn't there. And all of our hair fell out. And it was around Christmas, so I have the pictures of sitting on Santa Claus's lap with a wig on. And it's a little curly fro wig. And we still have those pictures, and we look at it and we laugh about it, but we also cry about it. Like, you remember the sores we had? And we were just bald. We never really got into that hair thing again. And maybe occasionally they would press it, but mostly we had like froze. And then we had big doo-doo braids. My mother didn't do hair. She could like barely braid it, but then it was like a braid sticking up here. And that's when I learned how to do hair. But I started to lock because I felt like I didn't want to curl it, I didn't want to roll it, I didn't want to pick it, and then I wanted to play in it. And I'm an artist, so for me, playing in my hair was part of who I am, and so it's just very easy. And even though it's a lot of grooming, because I'm also obsessive compulsive about being cute, but I love hair and I love locks, and so I like touching my mother's hair. To me, that's a spiritual thing. So when I do my daughter's hair, it's very spiritual for me.
I have a question for your perfect afro. How do you get your hair like that?
Well, I have to train it. You know, the longer I let it get, because I mean, I've had long hair days going up to here. But I had to train my hair like this, and I pick it out every day, and I pat it. That's it.
If you want a barber, you got to make sure your barber specializes in afros, because when I first was getting my afro 14 years ago, I had barbers, oh, I do afros, yeah, and they'll have like this short and tall, you top be all tall and stuff.
Right.
You have to make sure that they know what they're doing. And if you go to a shop and spend $15, $20 on your afro and they only go through it one time, don't be mad when you go home and you pick it out and it doesn't look the same that it did. They need to go through your hair at least 2-3 times.
I have a question about advice from mothers. My mother is very skeptical about natural hair. Like whenever I do my hair or
How old is your mother?
my mother is about 62.
Yeah.
So which is funny because she did grow up in the 70s. She had the fade, she had the big fro, and now she has this like crazy like braided in weave. And I keep telling her like, oh mom, you should cut your hair all the way off, or you should let it grow gray, or you should, it would be so cute.
She just has to love herself.
Yeah.
Because it's not really the hair.
Sometimes you as her child, you know, okay baby, yeah, all right. But you know, bring her, and so she can see all of these beautiful women and all of these different styles of natural.
Hollywood world so pretentious. Every other girl got a perm or extensions, but you don't even really wear lipstick. Still your beauty is a natural mystic. Indigenous, strong cheekbone from your lineage. Not what the mainstream image is. Natural hair is your heritage, but to see it without chemicals is rare as the pyramid.
Beauty's within, not just on the surface. The skin that you're in, you're already